Breaking news from Westminster. King Charles has just refused Keir Starmer's emergency request in a way that's left MPs absolutely speechless. The Prime Minister is said to be furious. His cabinet is in chaos. And what happens next could ignite the biggest constitutional crisis Britain has seen in more than 3 centuries if you want to see how this ends. Hit that subscribe button right now because what's unfolding between Downing Street and Buckingham Palace could change the monarchy forever. Just 47 hours ago, Keir Starmer sent a private, urgent letter to Buckingham Palace. In that letter, the Prime Minister made an extraordinary request, asking King Charles to publicly endorse his controversial NHS funding bill, according to Palace insiders. Starmer's exact words were chilling. Your Majesty's public support would demonstrate unity in this critical moment for Britain's healthcare system, but the request broke every constitutional rule in the book. Prime ministers don't demand royal backing for partisan legislation. They don't weaponize the crown for political gain. They don't drag the monarchy into Westminster battles. But this time, Starmer wasn't asking. He was demanding ... and King Charles wasn't having it. At precisely 9:23 a.m. this morning, a royal courier delivered a single-page letter to number 10 Downing Street. Those who've seen the document describe it as polite, measured, and absolutely devastating. Charles reminded Starmer that the monarchy remains strictly neutral on parliamentary matters. He warned that endorsing any legislation would undermine centuries of constitutional balance. And then came the sentence that sent shockwaves through Westminster: I must respectfully decline your Saint, and remind the Prime Minister that the Crown serves Britain, not any single administration. Those 16 words detonated like a bomb inside number 10 within minutes. Starmer convened an emergency cabinet meeting. Witnesses described the scene as chaotic. The Prime Minister was pacing, red-faced, his voice shaking with anger. Deputy PM Angela Rayner later told aides she'd never seen him so unhinged. One cabinet secretary recalled Starmer slamming both fists on the table, shouting, "Who does he think he is? I'm the elected leader of this country, not some pampered king who inherited his job." The room fell silent, because in Britain, you don't talk about the king like that. You don't challenge the crown, and you definitely don't declare war on the monarchy. But Starmer just had. Within 30 minutes, the story had leaked. Soon, every major newsroom in London was reporting it. Starmer versus King Charles, constitutional crisis looms. But rather than back down, Starmer doubled down. His communications team began briefing journalists, claiming the king's refusal proved that the monarchy was incompatible with modern democracy. Think about that. A sitting prime minister framing the king as an obstacle to progress. It was political suicide disguised as strategy. And while Westminster burned, ordinary Britons were watching in disbelief. Across the country, frustration is boiling. Millions are trapped on NHS waiting lists, some for over a year. Take Sarah Mitchell, a 64-year-old grandmother from Bolton. She's been waiting 11 months for a hip replacement. She can barely walk. I voted Labour because they promised to fix the NHS, she told reporters, holding back tears. Instead, Keir Starmer is fighting with the king while I'm in agony. Her words echo across Britain. Veterans, pensioners, parents, all asking the same question: where are his priorities? Even Labour loyalists are starting to admit this isn't about healthcare anymore. It's about ego. And here's the irony. The NHS funding bill at the heart of this crisis doesn't even have full support within Starmer's own party. 12 Labour MPs have voiced private doubts. The British Medical Association called it insufficient, failing to address the workforce crisis crippling the NHS. So Starmer picked a fight with the king over a bill that doesn't even fix the problem. The political judgment? Disastrous. Then came the twist no one saw coming. During rehearsals for the upcoming state opening of Parliament, King Charles broke royal protocol. In front of senior officials, he declared, "The monarchy has weathered many storms by remaining steadfast to its principles. That tradition will not be abandoned for short-term political convenience." It was a message loud and clear. The crown would not bend. Not now, not ever. Behind closed doors, Charles had spent 3 hours consulting constitutional experts before sending his letter. He studied precedents dating back to Queen Victoria and concluded that Starmer's request was one of the gravest threats to royal neutrality in modern history. And the fallout has been devastating. Charles didn't just send his letter to Starmer, he sent copies to every major party leader, the Archbishop of Canterbury, and the Speaker of the House. It wasn't a private message, it was a public stand within hours. Rishi Sunak praised the king's principled integrity, Liberal Democrats called it appropriate and necessary. Even Labour backbenchers admitted Charles was right, markets panicked. The pound dropped 1.2%. £3.4 billion was wiped from the 101-day. And Labour, imploding. A secret WhatsApp group called Constitutional Responsibility Caucus now includes 47 Labour MPs, openly questioning Starmer's leadership. 2 ministers have already resigned. 5 more are reportedly preparing letters. The hashtag #StarmerResign has trended for over 30 hours. Protesters outside Downing Street chant "God Save the King." As police struggle to hold the crowd, Labour's poll numbers are collapsing, from 39% to 31% in just 3 days. For the first time since the election, the Conservatives are back on top. Reform UK has surged to 19%, its highest rating in history. And just when it couldn't get worse, it did. Leaked documents obtained by The Telegraph allegedly show that Starmer's team planned for this scenario. If the king refused, they'd launch a campaign to quietly undermine the monarchy, painting it as outdated, expensive, and out of touch. The documents outline op-eds, social media strategy, and leaks designed to make Charles look irrelevant. If proven true, this isn't just bad politics. It's a direct assault on Britain's constitutional foundation. Legal scholars are already debating whether this could constitute a breach of the Prime Minister's oath of office. Meanwhile, Nigel Farage has seized the moment, positioning Reform UK as defenders of tradition. His viral speech in Manchester hit over 4 million views overnight, while Starmer attacks our king. Reform UK stands with the crown, with tradition, with the stability that has kept Britain strong. Reform's membership exploded. Donations up nearly 400%. Former Labour voters are switching sides in record numbers. For the first time ever, Reform isn't a protest party. It's a real contender. Across the country, grassroots movements are rising to defend the monarchy. Petitions, rallies, marches, 500,000 signatures in just days. Even Labour's heartlands are turning. The Manchester Evening News ran one headline that said it all. What has he done? And now, Westminster braces for impact. Parliament reconvenes in less than 4 days. Starmer faces Prime Minister's questions, with rebellion brewing behind him. The question is no longer if Keir Starmer survives this, but whether the Labour government itself can. Britain is watching history unfold, a constitutional showdown that could redefine the monarchy, the government, and the nation itself. So, did Starmer just commit political suicide? Does King Charles's refusal end his career before it barely began? Or will Starmer somehow claw his way back? Tell us what you think in the comments. Are people defending Starmer or defending the king? Because what's happening right now isn't just politics. It's Britain's identity on the line. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because tomorrow we're uncovering what King Charles is planning next. And trust me, it's going to shock the entire nation.